We move on to complete the welding process of our butt joint. You will recall earlier that you practiced making a bead using your filler rod. The technique of welding the joint involves the exact same procedure, but this time the molten pool must be spread evenly across the root gap. Returning to our tacked workpiece, we shall begin the weld at the right-hand edge. We must also be ready to introduce the filler rod as soon as the weld pool forms. Keep the pool running along the seam, maintaining just enough travel speed with the torch to keep the weld pool moving along the root gap. If we examine a skilled welder in action, we can observe all the elements that we have covered. First, we see that the torch angle and the filler rod angle make an approximate right angle. We see the cone of the welding flame being maintained at the proper distance of 4 to 5 millimeters above the work surface. We see that the torch is constantly weaving to keep an even distribution of heat across the joint. The filler rod is being introduced into the molten pool, making sure that the fill is constant and even. When approaching the end of the welding run, speed up the rate of torch travel in order to avoid blowing holes in the base metal. At the end of the welding run, the torch should be shut down and your work allowed to cool. After a weld has been completed, you should inspect your work to make sure that it meets acceptable standards. An acceptable weld will appear like this example. Note both the uniform flow of the weave pattern and the consistent width of the bead. If we turn the work over, you will see that the weld has penetrated right through the plate depth, leaving a consistent root bead on the underside. Practice the welding of the butt joint in your workplace.